I'm Sam Sapuppo, and I'm the Director responsible for customer experience here at EdSmart. In a little over a year and a half, our schools have sent out almost 3 million broadcasts to their school communities, whether that be parents, students or staff. That's a really encouraging figure for us. It just shows how versatile and practical that module is in the suite. David and the engineering team have added 3 new features that we hope will enhance even more the experience you have when you use broadcasts. We've tried to maintain its simple functionality, and these 3 features we hope just extend that a little further. The first feature being that you can create templates for a broadcast now, and in fact you can create multiple templates, one prepared for each different reason for broadcasting, and have them prepared in advance. Secondly, you can now attach workflow to a template. So you've got the full gambit now. When you want to send out a broadcast, you can choose a template for that broadcast. And secondly, you can have a workflow attached to that and have an approval process before it goes out to your school community. The third feature is within the parent slips module on the reply page where you're monitoring your replies to a parent slip. You can now send a broadcast to a group of parents on a particular slip. So if you're ready to send out a broadcast to the parents who haven't returned, either to remind them or to encourage them or to give them some information, or you can send a broadcast to the parents who have replied, asking them to complete something further or to acknowledge. And lastly, you could be sending it to any parent in the process, so that they're aware of any further information that might have pertained to that particular slip. So let's see how all this works. Let's begin by preparing a broadcast template. We go to Form Templates. We add New. You can see that we've added one more type of template, and this is called the Parent-Student Broadcast. We choose that one. We create the new form template. And the process from here is very similar to when preparing any other template. It asks us for a name, and for want of an example, let's choose the weekly newsletter, which I've noticed quite a number of schools using the broadcast facility to send out the weekly newsletter. You can add in the X's there just to remind you that you may want to put the number of the newsletter or the date of the newsletter. And also remembering that the name of the template isn't necessarily the name you need to use in the broadcast. So it's just a placeholder. And I've created a category called broadcasts in my templates. And now it's prepared for us. Exactly like we would prepare a parent slip or a school form, we're going to edit. And in this case here, what the program offers you is the ability to pre-prepare some text that goes in the email, or pre-prepare the text that goes into the SMS if you're using that facility. Same rules as always, pencil to edit, and firstly, in here you would type in whatever the pre-prepared text and in fact, you wanted to use each time you use this template. For all the different very quickly, I'm just types of broadcasts you normally use, and that way you can have them prepared for when you want. Secondly, we now have the ability to add a workflow and approval process to that template. So before a template goes out, you can create the broadcast, you can use a template and the workflow for that template. Attached. And lastly, we've made sure that we've added a broadcast facility to our
what your parents expect from
responses page for a parent slip. What that means is,
so that's now
while you're managing the responses from a parent slip,
you can always edit this
broadcast
at the broadcast stage, similarly to as you can edit in a parent slip.
To parents who haven't responded to the slip.
So in the SMS,
or it might be sending a broadcast to all the parents that have responded to the slip, or that have responded in a certain manner. That way you can keep in touch with those parents without having to
think is appropriate for
leave
school. We have added one
and go to the
little feature in here, and you'll notice that now
let me show you how all
you can
this
see the
works.
number of characters you've used in your SMS with the total of 150 characters being available. Yeah, we hope that helps you. So now the template is ready to go to be called upon whenever you need. Let's go to the next part, and that is the workflow. Creating a workflow that reflects your approval processes in the school. Again, in keeping with trying to make this template and workflow as similar to parent slips for you, we edit the workflow. The 3 steps, as always, create the broadcast, queue the slip, in this case it's the broadcast, and then send. So if you wish to add an approval step, we choose send for approval, and the program will update and it will add the 2 steps. Send for approval, and we'll keep this as any user. Because we're not aware of who might create the broadcast, any user will reflect whoever creates the broadcast. But it's here that we want to add the approver, and we go to the edit button, we unselect all users, and in this case, let's use Fiona as our approver. We update the step, and there it is. Anyone in the school, according to this workflow, is able to create the broadcast. Once they have viewed the draft and sent it for approval, an email will be sent to Fiona alerting her to her role in approving the slip. Fiona will then click on the link and go to the program where it will enable her to approve the slip. And once she has approved and sent to queue, it will queue and be sent out. All right. And you can create a workflow for every different type of broadcast. So if in your school a broadcast needs to be approved by the director or marketing coordinator or communications person, then that's the person. If it's the deputy principal that needs to approve it in another type of template, so forth. Each template can have its own workflow, exactly like a parent slip. The third feature is the ability to create a broadcast from any of the responses page in your parent slips, which is a perfect way for you to keep communicating with families around one particular slip and be able to use different components within your lists. So if you have a look here, we've sent this particular slip out to 5 families. 2 have responded. And we can see here there's been a positive response, there's been a permission not given, and there's been 3 families who have opened the slip but not responded. So it's good to try and work out how do we want to communicate with these different families. And we've given you the ability now to create a broadcast specific to this form and specific to this group. And you have a number of options. And the options are you can send a notice, a broadcast to any of the families, to all the families in the group, only to those families who have responded, so the permission given or the permission not given, or you can ask for the not positive bookings, so you might go back to the family that's said no and ask them a follow-up question. or lastly, to anyone who haven't responded. And that might be to the families who have opened but not responded. You could be reminding them about the due date, or you might be just clarifying that they need to hit the submit button that some families forget to when they're replying to a form. So you've got the ability, and the program will pull the list of names without you having to cut and paste them into the broadcast facility. And it's pretty straightforward. Let's choose, in this case here, all those families that haven't responded, and we create the broadcast, and it takes us to a broadcast screen that you're familiar with, and it's the same heading for the broadcast. You might add something further. To those not responsible, you're going to be sending it out this morning, and then you can type in a particular message saying, please complete the swimming form by the end of the day. And off you go. You can preview, of course, or you can send it on its way. So we hope that feature enables you to continue to work with a form after it has been sent out, and you want to follow up some certain groups within there.
There. I hope those 3 examples gave you an idea of how each of those features work. And I hope, in fact, while you were watching the examples, you're thinking of ways that you could use this in your school to help improve the way you send broadcasts. Remember, as always, we're here to help. So don't forget, help@edsmart.com, and we'll respond to you quickly and easily. Look forward to serving you another day. Cheers.